there, we're here at the end of day 2 at the National Secondary Schools tournament here at Bruce Pullman Park, and speaking again with Vodafone Warriors Development Manager Duane Mann. And Duane, looking back on today's results, looks like we've found our pool of death. Pool A, heading into the last day of pool play tomorrow, no team unbeaten, all teams locked at 1 win, 1 loss each, and everything to play for tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Real tough today for those games in the pool of death. Some of the teams, they thought they had the game won, only to have it snatched or lost in the last seconds of the game.
And I guess the feature game in that pool was the St Paul's versus Otahuhu College, a rematch of last year's finalists. If you remember last year, Otahuhu snatched the win in the final with a conversion after the hooter. And today's game was just as dramatic as that one.
It was. Listening to the spectators from St Paul's especially, they felt a little bit unlucky with some decisions at the end of the game. They thought they'd scored a try. They had some hard-working front rowers. In fact, today I thought it was the front rowers who stood up for all the teams. Zephaniah Aranga for St Paul's was very good. Josiah Muslimir, also pretty much a rookie for the St Paul's team this year in his rookie year, but he was very good as well. On the other hand, the Otahuhu forwards, just kept steamrolling up through the middle, and again off the back of some smart play by Alfred Smalley and good work by Joseph Buna.
Right, so Otahuhu taking that win and keeping their hopes alive. They lost on day 1, and now, as I say, if they win tomorrow, they've got a game tomorrow against Areri College, who beat Manakura. All those teams locked at 1-1, and any one of those teams can go through. I guess if you look at how things are panning out, Otahuhu can still go through into the semi-finals. And remember, last night we might have misled you a little bit, saying 2 teams go through from each pool. Only 1. So only 1. Otahuhu can still keep its title defence alive. If they beat Areri tomorrow, St Paul's beat Manakura, and then it's on head-to-head result in pool play, which means today's win for Otahuhu would take them through to semi-finals. So really exciting logjam developing in Pool A. Things are a little bit more clear-cut in the other pools, where we've got a team in each of those pools at 2-0 after the 3 rounds. In Pool B, Kelston Boys High School. Pool C, Southern Cross. And Pool D, Westlake Boys. But all 3 of those teams had their struggles today, Duane.
Yeah, they did. And just going back to the Aorere Manakura game, Aorere very good today. Had to turn it around from yesterday. They got off to a blistering start, never really took their foot off the pedal. Philip Makatoa, playing at lock forward, led them around the park superbly. Taylor Few also playing in the middle, off the interchange bench as a front rower, middle forward. Very good again. So Manakura disappointed from what they put on the park yesterday. But again, as you mentioned, a chance to pick it up. Out of those other schools, yes, Kelston Boys High School, Westlake High, and the other one was Southern Cross. 3 teams all playing, 3 schools all playing really good football. Interesting thing about those 3 schools is, I guess, the age of the players. They've got some young players, old players, but experienced and some not so experienced. But despite all that, they're really looking smooth. They're probably the 3 schools playing with the most flow and look the most organised.
Kelston Boys, I know that was a game that you watched against Manarewa High School, and Manarewa were leading 18-6 at half-time. The wind is playing a bit of a part in the proceedings here this week, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. The layout of Bruce Pullman Park, we've got 2 fields in particular that the wind is either in your face or at your back, and so what we're seeing is as the teams change ends at half-time, you really need to have some points behind you in the first half at least, or teams have been run down in the second half, and we saw that with Manurewa had a strong lead at half time, turned around in the second half, had the wind in their face, and they couldn't hold back Kelston Boys. It is playing a part on the scoreboard. And
similar story with Westlake Boys, who were down even more at half time, 18-4 I think, to who were they playing?
Oh, come on, tell us. Westlake were playing Aranui.
Aranui, yes. No. St Thomas.
But I can blame it on years of concussion. What's yours, yes?
Oh, no, just years.
Wesley?
No. Tamaki.
Tamaki.
It was Tamaki College.
We got there. We got there in the end.
Tamaki were up 18-4 at half time, and Westlake had to come back. That was a real lolly scramble in the end. It was 35-22. I think that's the most points we've probably had in the game this week.
Okay. Well, so I didn't watch the game. Talking to the other selectors, so again, they're impressed with the Westlake team. That combination of Zay Wallace at half and Finney and Issy. So normally a centre, but you know, a very intelligent guy and a very mature player. So those two leading the guys around the paddock. Tamaki was very good yesterday. Troy Pulapaki there, Lepatoa, but probably a little bit unlucky there with the conditions again today playing a part, and probably suffered a little bit with their kicking game from what I understand.
And Southern Cross, I think, were all away leaders in their game against Tokoroa. Still only 12-8 scoreline, so that was still a tight game right to the finish.
Yeah, 8 minutes to go with 8 all with only less than 5 minutes to play, and Tokoroa actually had a penalty in kicking range to give them a chance of winning the game, but probably the goal kicker for Tokoroa, he had missed 2 earlier attempts, so probably wasn't feeling that confident. They decided to turn down the penalty, tap the ball and run, and they turned over possession for Southern Cross in one set to work their way up the other end of the field, and guess who? Siabi Togia goes over to take the ball under the post. So it really was a game that was there was a lot of grind and punch in the game, but Southern Cross too good in the end.
Just a point on those comebacks, the teams trailing at half time today. 5 teams came back from half-time deficits to win their game, so that's kind of an indication, I guess, of how things can turn around in the second half with the windy conditions down here at Bruce Pullman. Let's talk about players. Are there any players today that sort of caught your eye?
Well, I mentioned that, I thought today the prop forward stood up, and I mentioned Taylor Few for Aotearoa College, but Zephaniah Aringa for St Paul's College was very good. The Mount Albert front rowers, they're quite sort of, they're heavy, hard to tackle, barrel-chested, big shoulders, so they were very good as well. We know about Manurewa High with Kinesi. Had a good year with the under 20s with the Warriors this year. So
the Beard Brigade.
The Beard Brigade. So they really Lotu and Issy again playing in the second row for Westlake, but very good. So probably go back to the Otahu game, and what got them their win is their little tip-on game amongst the forwards. So, again, these conditions with the wind blustering across the field, they just a lot of short passing, just drawing in the opposition and just letting the ball do the work. So some good skill met by a good bit of aggression and power running from the forwards.
We've had 2 days of the tournament now, Duane, and you've seen a fair number of the games. What do you think of the standard of play so far?
Oh, look, it's good. It's perhaps sometimes we might get a bit guilty of thinking about the tournament and comparing it to previous years, where we've mentioned before some genuine superstars that now in the NRL have come through this tournament. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Nathaniel Roach is doing great this year with the Warriors. So, trying to look at it without too much bias from past years. I think the quality is good. I think a couple of things. We're seeing the support from the schools with their coaching staff. The schools look organised. What they're doing, they're playing their games and they're debriefing and then getting straight into their rehab process. They look like they're eating well. Very organised. So I think from New Zealand Rugby League, congratulations again, putting on a great tournament, well organised in the background and the administration. Coaches and managers are getting all the information they need, so they're preparing well, just getting onto the field. Tomorrow we'll talk maybe a little bit more about the referees and give you some feedback about how things going from their perspective.
Yeah, from my perspective, I guess having worked with a variety of sports over the years, the recovery factor in this tournament really impresses me. It's very organised and probably the only real tournament that I've seen that provides these recovery facilities for players.
Yeah, that's right, and it is important, and it's because we want to make sure that the players' welfare to be able to turn up again and have a repeat effort better than the day before. What's also significant and of great value for these tournaments is the educational part, and that rugby league is a vehicle for these guys to keep doing well at school, and the education is important. So there are a number of workshops and opportunities that the schools will deliver themselves directly to their players and students, and some that are coordinated by New Zealand Rugby League. So, in past years, you mean what's different about this year compared to last year? Well perhaps in previous years there was so much going on, there was a bit of an overload. So stripping back a few things and just allowing that little bit of time for the schools to also just bond. But there are a couple of workshops tomorrow, and we round out the week with a big awards ceremony, and so the schools are looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to acknowledging some of these good young talent that's out there.
Yeah, on that note, tonight some of the players from each team will put forward 4 players, and they'll attend a leadership workshop at Papakura High School run by It's Not Okay, and they'll be hearing some messages about making good choices and developing positive relationships in their lives. And then tomorrow there'll be a series of school visits, and those players will go out and deliver those messages to local schools. So very good format, as you say, an opportunity for them to learn some lessons away from the field, and also to help deliver those messages to some local schools.
Yeah, it's keep them busy. A lot of structure around the school teams on and off the field, and that bodes well for, I guess, some lessons for these guys as they move out of high school and into a working career. It is about keeping your mind busy, keeping yourself healthy, and that way you can be as productive as you can and make good choices.
I'm going to put you on the spot. From what you've seen in the first 2 days, pick me a winner.
No, I won't. It's too hard. It's too hard, and we just haven't been able to see a team settle down enough. I guess what we got is a lesson today that teams can come back and win when they're pretty much out of the game. Avondale College being out, only a few minutes to go, and yet they managed to pinch that game away from St Thomas. So, no, I think it's too hard to pick a winner today, but what we have mentioned is that those 3 schools in outside of Paul A, Westlake Boys, Kelston Boys High School, and
Southern Cross.
Southern Cross. What I will say, those 3 schools have probably shone the best in terms of being consistent over day 1 and day 2.
Here's another couple of points to consider though. The fact that it's a tournament over a week and teams being able to develop form as the week goes. Now, with only one team going through from each pool, leaves you a very small margin of error, I guess, to recover from an early loss. But in the case of Otahu, maybe we're seeing as the week goes on, they'll get better as a team, or it could be some other team as well. The other...
Is that your phone, mate?
Is that We'll be back. Right, we're back. After that match manager's alarm, we managed to locate it and turn it off. Duane, I think the point I was trying to make was the possibility of a team developing some form over the course of the week. The other interesting thing, those 3 clear teams so far in those 3 pools, looking at Pool A, it could be that the team coming out of Pool A is actually in better form because of the tough matches it's getting.
Yeah, you could argue that, and maybe it might be more so that you're just building a bit of self-belief rather than coming out physically and being hardened. So I think that's probably the edge they might get in Team A, is just knowing, hey, maybe we weren't at our best, we weren't playing our best, but we managed to dig deep and to pull together a bit of trust in each other and get ourselves a win. That might be the thing that sort of really helps one of those schools from Team A.
Okay, well that's the end of today's day. We're looking ahead for tomorrow. I guess the situation in Pool A is something to look forward to, but plenty of else to look forward to for the week. So it's Duane Mann, former Kiwi captain, now Vodafone Warriors development manager, signing off for today. If you want to follow the tournament, make sure you download that app off the NZRL website, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Tomorrow it is.